Imagine a group of close friends gathering on a chilly evening, each one carrying a small backpack loaded with flashlights, snacks, and a hint of bravery. They stand in front of a rusty iron gate that squeaks softly in the wind, almost as if it's warning them to stay away. Why are they here? Because they can't resist a good mystery, especially when it involves a strange old house that, according to countless rumors, might be haunted. Some say a wealthy family once lived there, leaving behind hidden treasures. Others insist they have heard eerie sounds at night, echoing through the empty halls. Despite these spine-tingling stories, the group's curiosity only grows stronger. They've decided to spend the entire night inside the house, both to test their courage and to practice their English by telling ghost stories to each other under the creaking roof. As the wind picks up, the gate groans even louder, and a chill slides down everyone's spine. Yet they push it open and step through. Beyond the gate, the ancient wooden porch seems to wait for them, bathed in pale moonlight. A thin layer of dust coats every surface, suggesting that nobody has dared enter for quite some time. Still, the friends exchange excited glances. This is exactly what they've been seeking, a real adventure that will challenge their fears and spark their imaginations. Little do they know that by entering this place, they're unlocking more than just a front door. They're about to reveal secrets and face uncertainties they've never experienced before. For now, though, the sense of anticipation is greater than the fear. After all, it's only the beginning of what will become a very long, very memorable night. A rush of excitement still lingering, they push the front door open with a long, drawn-out creak. The entry hall greets them with a musty smell, like damp wood and old books left untouched for years. Faint moonlight seeps through cracked windows, revealing wallpaper peeling off the walls in wide, curling strips. Dust particles dance in the air, illuminated by each beam of light from the friends' flashlights. Tiptoeing further inside, they notice an unsettling silence, as though the house is listening to their every breath. One of them shines a light toward the ceiling, revealing a grand chandelier coated in cobwebs. Beneath it, a threadbare rug stretches along the hall, muffling their footsteps and adding to the eerie stillness. Every creak of the floorboards feels amplified in this hush, and more than once, a member of the group glances over their shoulder, half expecting to see someone or something lurking in the shadows. Despite their nervousness, curiosity propels them deeper into the house. They venture past towering shelves in what seems to be a study, each shelf filled with books too dusty to read. A soft breeze drifts through a broken window pane, making the old wooden chairs groan and rock on their own. The echo of that movement sends a chill through the group. One friend quietly jokes that the chairs must be greeting them, trying to break the tension with humor. Yet the heavier the silence becomes, the more they realize this place has its own presence, one that feels centuries old and watchful. It's almost as though the house is reacting to each step they take, each whispered comment they exchange. And with every passing moment, the bold excitement they felt outside gives way to a tingling sense of unease that none of them can quite ignore. Suddenly, a faint scraping sound breaks the silence, causing everyone to freeze in place. Heartbeats quicken and flashlights begin to dart around, trying to pinpoint the source. It's a noise so soft that at first they think they might be imagining it, a gentle scratch, like fingernails against wood, but it's definitely there. One of the friends looks at the others with wide eyes, holding a finger to their lips as if to say, "Listen." A moment later, the sound is gone, replaced by a hollow stillness. Encouraged by the false sense of calm, they exchange nervous smiles and decide to keep exploring. But only a few steps farther into the corridor, another noise erupts, a distant thud, as though something heavy just fell in a room down the hall. This time, the noise is unmistakable. Nobody can claim they didn't hear it. Their flashlights sweep across the floorboards and old wallpaper, seeking a door or a clue, anything that might explain the sudden bang. One friend suggests it could just be an old window slamming shut from the wind. Another wonders if it's an animal trapped inside. Whatever the explanation, something in the house is very much alive, or at least moving, and it's no longer content to remain silent. The group can feel a collective shiver ripple through them as they slowly move toward the source of the sound. With each step, the wooden planks groan in protest under their feet. The strange noises are all around, echoing in unpredictable patterns. For the first time since they entered, a shared sense of dread grows, and they begin to wonder whether their decision to spend the night here was a good idea after all. They inch their way down a narrow hallway, flashlights scanning the peeling wallpaper and warped floorboards. Suddenly, one of the lights starts to flicker. At first, they assume it's just a failing battery, but then another flashlight begins to stutter, too. Confusion turns to alarm as the third flashlight flickers in unison, casting wild shadows on the walls. For a brief moment, everything goes dark. In that heart-stopping instant, the entire house seems to come alive with the faintest echo of rustling fabric and quiet footsteps. When the lights finally steady again, the corridor looks exactly the same, except for the unsettling fact that a door they were certain was closed just moments before is now standing ajar. Huddling closer together, they peer into the dim room through the half-open door. The shifting shadows on the walls play tricks on their eyes, making it impossible to see clearly. Curtains sway in an unseen breeze, and each time the flashlights falter, the shadows seem to move on their own, stretching unnaturally across the floor, creeping closer to where the group stands. A creeping realization settles in. Whatever force is causing the lights to flicker might not be satisfied with merely scaring them. It feels deliberate, almost like a warning. With their hearts pounding louder than ever, they exchange worried glances, unsure if they should turn back or press on to uncover the source of these eerie manifestations. Venturing beyond the half-open door, they step into a dimly lit room that feels strangely different from the rest of the house. Although the air still carries that musty scent of old wood and forgotten stories, there's a faint warmth here, like someone was just in the room moments ago. Cautiously, they shine their flashlights around, revealing a few pieces of overturned furniture and dusty crates piled against the walls. In a far corner, something glints under the beam of a flashlight, a small metal latch embedded in the floorboards. One of them kneels down to get a better look, brushing away cobwebs and debris. The latch is attached to a hidden panel, almost seamlessly blended into the floor. A nervous hush falls over the group. They exchange excited, unsettled glances. Whatever lies beneath could be the key to understanding the strange happenings in the house, or it could be just another layer of its ancient secrets. With trembling hands, one of them lifts the latch. At first, it resists, like it hasn't been opened in decades. Then, with a groan and a puff of dust, the panel pops free, revealing a small compartment. Inside, wrapped carefully in yellowed cloth, is a weathered journal bound in cracked leather. The delicate pages crackle as one of the friends gently opens it. By the light of their flashlights, they catch a glimpse of spidery handwriting, faded photographs taped onto pages, and dates that stretch back over half a century. Staring at these fragments of someone else's life, they feel the electric buzz of anticipation. This isn't just any discovery. It's a window into the past, possibly explaining why the house seems so restless. But as they flip to a random page, the flicker in their flashlights returns, more erratic than before. The temperature plummets. It's as though the house disapproves of them uncovering its hidden story. Eager yet uneasy, they decide to push forward, determined to find out what the journal reveals and whether it has anything to do with the eerie presence that seems to haunt every corner of the old estate. They gather closer, forming a tight circle around the battered journal. The words, penned in flowing, faded ink, speak of a family who once lived here. Parents consumed by desperation, a child lost to illness, and a final entry hinting at a desperate ritual intended to save the child's life. Each sentence reveals more of the house's dark history, and each new detail brings a fresh wave of goosebumps. One friend turns a page and points out a rough sketch, a crude diagram of the very room they're standing in, with a note scrawled underneath that reads, "Only by night will they answer." No one dares speak, but a silent understanding passes between them. Whatever happened in this house was far from ordinary. The flickering lights and eerie sounds begin to feel less like coincidences and more like echoes of that tragic, possibly malevolent past. Just as they begin to grasp the gravity of the journal's contents, a sudden thud reverberates through the ceiling above, followed by the distinct creak of footsteps moving across the floor. Instinctively, they turn off their flashlights, plunging themselves into darkness. Their hearts pound in their chests, and for the first time, even the bravest among them wonders if there's something more than an old secret at play, something that might still be roaming these silent corridors, awakened by their intrusion and the pages they dared to read. With flashlights still switched off, they stand motionless in the darkness, hearing the slow, deliberate creaks from the floor above. The journal, cradled in someone's trembling hands, feels heavier with each passing second. Eventually, the footsteps fade, replaced by a profound silence. Anxiety courses through the group, but they steel themselves. Whatever is up there, they need to face it and end this haunting uncertainty. They make their way upstairs, guided only by the moonlight shining through fractured windows. Every step on the winding staircase echoes ominously in the vast stillness. Reaching the landing, they spot a narrow door slightly ajar at the end of a long hallway. The air grows colder with each stride, and when they finally push the door open, they discover a cramped attic space filled with dusty toys and tattered blankets. At the center lies a small bed, its sheets pulled back as if the occupant had just left. Driven by dread and empathy for the doomed family from the journal, they gather around that tiny bed. One friend notices a single handprint on the wall, much smaller than any of theirs. Suddenly, as though acknowledging their presence, the light from the attic's lone window starts to flicker in sync with their flashlights. An unspoken understanding strikes them all. The child's spirit, or whatever it has become, remains anchored to this place, reliving a cycle of fear and longing. With hearts pounding, they whisper quiet words, words of comfort, a plea for forgiveness, an acknowledgement of the pain echoing through these walls. The lights flutter again, and an overwhelming stillness blankets the room. Gently, they back away, feeling they have witnessed something deeply personal, perhaps even sacred, that no longer belongs to the realm of the living. Leaving the attic, they descend the creaky steps in a hush. All the ominous noises have ceased, and the house seems calmer now. Outside, the moon hovers low over the horizon, hinting that dawn is not far off. They slip through the rusted gate once more, the journal held close. Although their journey began as a curious dare, an attempt at honing their English skills, it has ended as a profound encounter with a forgotten past. The old house, whispering secrets through each floorboard, taught them a lesson they won't soon forget. Some stories are best told softly, And some mysteries are best approached with respect for the unseen traces of history that linger in every shadow.